while we are waiting for others to join, we will do a short introduction. So, hello everybody. My name is Tomas. I'm co-founder of Kameleo. I'm a software engineer as well, and I participated in the development of the core components. So I have a pretty good overview on what is behind the scenes. But lately I shifted towards business development, and I'm very active on the Discord channels and talking to you a lot. So I might be familiar to many of you. We are creating an anti-detect browser, which was originally created for affiliate marketers, but lately we are doing a shift towards web scraping because we received so many requests because our product is perfect for web scraping purposes also. And it feels more natural for us to speak with our customers from the web scraping world, as we are software engineers as well. So this is everything about myself. Let me introduce you my co-host, Evgeny Fomenko from iProxy. Please introduce yourself and let me know what did you do before you started iProxy and how did you started it?
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you, Tomas, for introduction. My name is Evgeny. I am the head and founder of iProxy.online. iProxy, this is mobile proxy service with special features. I will tell you later. But before, what I did before iProxy, I did affiliate marketing. I did Facebook ads. I ran Facebook ads for 4 years, and I used a lot of proxies for this. I used multi-accounting, and the price of proxies was too high. For example, a mobile SIM card costs like $20, but when I buy mobile proxies from this country, I pay like 550, and I thought, why it's so expensive? And I thought, what can I do? How can I help to other people like me? How to save their money? And that's how I created iProxy. But it will be in the future about cost efficiency and etc.
Yes, it will be very interesting, as I think many web scrapers use proxies, or every web scraper use proxies. We will have dedicated time when you can showcase iProxy's feature. So let's start with a little overview of today's agenda. We will talk about scraping challenges, technology overview, proxy insights, and we will give a lot of solutions with a very good demo where we will show you how you can do scraping behind the login wall. So what is scraping behind the login wall? It is actually retrieving information that is only accessible, which is not accessible without login. And why is it useful? Because you can extract data that no one else did because they are not publicly available, such as marketplace prices. This can be useful, for example, to do dynamic pricing of your product, or you can just create trends on social media, and by this you can decide what you should post, which will have a good audience or good results. And also you can retrieve a lot of data that you can use to teach LLMs. So next generation AI models can have all the knowledge that is behind the login wall. And it's not only about retrieving data, but also interacting behind the login wall automatically. For example, automating review writings, commenting on posts or videos, or you can also send out, for example, sales-related messages on different platforms. Everything we show here is not only useful during web scraping behind the login wall, but also to build trust towards websites during your web scraping project. So it will to pay a lot of attention. And one note, that the demo I think will be very interesting, but it is mandatory to pay attention during the whole presentation as we are building up like step by step. Okay, before we start, I just want to encourage everybody that at the end we will have the Q&A section. So in the webinar, you can use the Q&A section and just ask questions, and we will try to answer everything without any. Okay, quick overview of challenges of web scraping. So anti-bot systems are getting more popular, and they can entirely block your activities by rate limits, user agent checks, advanced browser fingerprint tests, or some human behavior checking or CAPTCHAs. Just to raise your attention, I would like to put up a poll. So, like, which antibot system do you struggle the most lately with? Here are some options. Why you vote? I will talk about a little another challenge we can face: high-cost residential proxies. For example, rotating residential proxies cost $5 to $10 per gigabyte, and ISP proxies cost $2 to $5 per IP, and this can really cause high cost during your web scraping project. Okay, I think we can end the poll and see the results. What I can see, like lately, Cloudflare and Datadome is not so issue, but for example, Imperva and Perimetrics can be a big issue nowadays. Okay, and the third challenge I want to mention is to scrape behind the login wall is also very challenging, as you might need to face two-factor authentication, or you need a valid phone number to bypass the registration or the login, and also the interface changes over time, and the maintenance costs will increase. So actually you will spend more time on creating the login or creating the registration than the actual data extraction. Let's make a quick overview about technologies as well. So there are request-based scrapers like spiders, and for example, Scrapy, which is actually a more intuitive spider, which can also change the user agent to have a better success rate. In these request-based scrapers are not handling sessions. So for example, if you already bypassed an anti-bot challenge, you should add the cookies as headers to your request to showcasing that you shouldn't face the challenge anymore. If you want to handle sessions properly, you should go for the browser-based scraping, which is something like Puppeteer, Playwright, or Selenium, where there is a context during the browsing session. And so once you successfully done a login or successfully bypass the challenge, it will stick to your browser, and you can continue the work where you left. The only issue with them is they can be detected easily. To solve this issue, there are a lot of plugins such as this Puppeteer Stealth plugin to help you bypass anti-bot systems, but they're not working always well. Here comes the anti-detect browsers, and Kameleo is an anti-detect browser, which gives you full control of the browser fingerprint, because we are developing our custom-built browsers, a Chromium-based and a Firefox-based one called Chroma and JungleFox. We are touching the C++ code, and by this we can ensure you have a unique but consistent browser fingerprint. And as the Chrome versions are updating from like 4 weeks, every 4 weeks, we are also updating this browser, ensuring that you won't have any maintenance costs, and you can bypass the anti-bot systems by mimicking human behavior. Another very good benefit of an anti-detect browser is that you can easily switch between browsing sessions and reuse the sessions later, like 3 months later again, and you don't have to deal with storing all the data. But we will dive into this more later. To understand more what we will show in the demo, I think this is the time to showcase the iProxy.online solution by Evgeny. I would like to ask you to give us some insights, also how you solve common issues that many other proxy providers has, such as high costs, unreliability, and KYC issues.
Yeah. First of all, iProxy is a mobile app for Android that helps you to make mobile proxies. That's very easy. Usually, people used USB dongles to make proxies, but it's very hard. You need to know some programming knowledge, programming skills. And using iProxy, it's very easy. Just take your Android, install app, and your proxies are ready. And this is the first killer feature, easy to install. The second is low cost. It's very important to save money to our customers, and it will be much better to make proxies by yourself than buy ready-made from, for example, your country. Also, we provide all the features to make to manage the proxies. For example, we provide all protocols like HTTP, SOCKS-pipe. We provide IP rotation and so on. But also, what you get with a proxy, you get real clean IP addresses from your device. So we don't generate IP addresses. Your mobile carrier provides your IP address, and this IP is used for proxies and for future web scraping, for example, or any automation tasks. What you must know is the geo of proxy will be the same as phone geolocation. For example, if you are located, for example, in Poland, you will get Polish mobile proxies. If you are in USA, you will get USA mobile proxies, and etc. And very important question about proxies regarding web scraping is what is my pool of IP addresses I have. Yeah, it depends on the pool of your SIM card that provided by your mobile carrier. And here it's like very simple guide how you can check the pool of IP addresses of your mobile carrier. But for example, you can just right after the webinar go to iProxy and start your test. How to do it? First of all, you must set up iProxy. The second is turn on rotation, for example, 2 or 5 minutes. So the IP address will be changed in 2 or 5 minutes. Then just keep your device online, keep it charged for a few days, and then go to IP history and check your pool. And you will get to know your pool. If you have time at the end of the webinar, I will demonstrate you some statistics or metrics from our current users, how many IP addresses they have and how they use it. Yeah, and regarding some questions you mentioned, for example, let me high cost. So I told you that the price is very cheap. We take this just from 6 to 10 US dollars per device. So the price for ready-made proxies will be just higher on 6 or 10 US dollars than the cost of your mobile carrier. That's very cheap. Regarding unreliability, you will have your private mobile proxies, only you use it. You will have your real phone IP address. That's very good for you. And regarding KYC restrictions, we have it, but it's very easy to meet our expectations. You just make the first payment using your card. It's like card authentication. Later, starting from the second top up, you can use, for example, crypto if it's more convenient.
I was more into like one time I was automating some actions behind LinkedIn, and I used a specific proxy provider which was restricting access to LinkedIn. And I guess in case of iProxy, I get a SIM card and no way LinkedIn is going to be blocked, right? We have got we have
yeah, we
some network latency here.
or you mentioned. Moment.
Evgeny, we have some network
Let me
latency
check
here. I can't
my
hear you properly.
network. Moment.
Okay, please hang
Oh,
on because Evgeny is reconnecting now. Okay, now it's good.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, good. Yeah, we don't block LinkedIn or such websites, but we can block some government sites because why do you need to use proxies to visit, for example, government websites? Yeah. So, but in general purposes, yeah, you can use iProxy, and if you want, you can just go to iProxy and check if your target website is available. But I think it will be available for you.
Okay, thank you. I will move on and to talk a little bit about the connection of the proxy and the fingerprint. This is something that many scrapers don't know, that it's not enough to change only your IP address, because the IP or the location can be retrieved through the browser with different JavaScript technologies, such as the geolocation API, WebRTC technologies, DNS tests, DNS resolution tests, and time zone tests. And here on the code, on the screenshot, you should see how easy it is with Kameleo to set up a proxy, for example, an iProxy proxy, and then just force that the browser will align with this IP address. So it will provide the same region for the geolocation and also taking care of the WebRTC public IP address and not making any leaks. This is essential if you would like to bypass the anti-bot systems you just mentioned during the poll, such as Cloudflare or Akamai. Okay, at this point, I think you already learned a lot of things. So, for example, iProxy, a cheap, reliable proxy solution. You also learned that browser-based scraping is always better against anti-bot systems. You learned that the IP address should be aligned with the fingerprint. And you also learned that an anti-attack browser can be driven with Selenium, Puppeteer, or Playwright. And if you spend on an anti-attack browser, you can save maintenance costs, because as the browsers are updating, you will always be on top of the game, and you can bypass the anti-bot systems. So now I think to learn more, we can focus more about persistent browsing context. To explain what I want, I have a very good metaphor. That I have a 4-year-old son who is very shy and suspicious all the time when we meet people who we haven't met before. But the next time when we meet the same person, he just becomes very brave and starts to talk a lot. And the reason is because on the first occasion, he is lacking the trust. And the same thing should be applied to websites, that when they are seeing a new browser, a fresh browser with a fresh IP, then they can become suspicious. They are going to show more CAPTCHAs. They are trying to slow you down. But if you are a returning user, then they will have the trust and there will be no issue. For example, my wife is checking Amazon every day, like 10 minutes. Why don't we do the same thing during web scraping project, that we just reuse the same session every day for a short time, and of course use multiple sessions to cover the whole day and scrape Amazon. All these things can be stored as cookies in the browser. So you need to make sure you warm up the browser. So you visit websites or you visit the same websites multiple times, and the cookies are going to be stored in the browser. And this is necessary because tech giants like Google or Cloudflare is available on many websites because, for example, Google Analytics is present on many websites. So it's like they are spying on us, and that can be suspicious if we are just coming up with a clean browser and not reloading a session and reusing the same session. Reusing browser context is possible to do with, for example, Playwright or Puppeteer. But on long term, to manage these sessions is going to be difficulties, and there is other power of using an anti-data browser like Kameleo, which I'm going to deep dive now into. So there is a term in case of anti-data browsers called profile or browser profile. And so it contains all the information from the persistent context, such as cookies, session data, logins, and history. But not only this, what else is stored? For example, the browser fingerprint. Like, have you ever faced the issue that you managed to do a login successfully, but like on the next day, when you try to retrieve the same session with the cookies, you were logged out? The reason is because the browser fingerprint or the user agent was not aligned with the same that you used on the previous occasion when you used the same persistent context. And in case of an anti-detect browser like Kameleo, this is solved as everything is packed into these profile files, so you can just reuse them, and it's perfectly mimicking the behavior of a real human who is just like opening up his laptop and doing some work, closing it, and on the next day continuing the work. I got a quick question here to Evgeny. So do you think not just having the same browser fingerprint, but to have the same IP address when we are reusing a session, is it important?
Yeah, it's very important to have persistent fingerprint, persistent IP address. Uh, I totally agree that it will allow you to stay logged in. You will not be logged out. I also would like to add that cookies will function more correctly. In some cases, for example, it may reduce the need to reload resources or reinitialize some components. So it will lead to faster page loads, for example. Uh, so yeah, I totally agree that that's very important. And like I would like to add that, for example, if you can't have the same IP address uh, for your next session, at least you should have the same country and region.
Yes, yes, I think it's good to know this. So if you have an opportunity or you don't have opportunity, you can just use the same country and same location for the same session. But if you have a chance, use the exact same IP address. For example, if you are using an ISP proxy, this can be done easily. But I'm in this demo, yeah, just coming in like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to show you how to do this in case of iProxy. Okay, I think now we have very good basic overviews and we can focus on the login vault challenges. I mentioned before many of them. Why is it difficult? So here are just quickly check some alternatives that one can do. For example, if you are very skilled, you can automate the whole registration and login process. But I can tell you, and you might already experience, that it is going to be very complex. It often involves receiving text messages automatically, two-factor authentications. Also, the registration page might change over time. So actually, the maintenance of the whole registration process is going to be more expensive than probably the revenue you can get from your project. So a second option is to make manual registration and then just automate the login. which is can be a good route to walk. Often, sometimes it works, sometimes not, but it can still be difficult due to maintenance costs, as the structure of the website might change. The third option is to do the registration or the login manually and then retrieve the cookies and use these cookies to retrieve the session. This is what I think I already mentioned. I know some projects when it can work well, but still difficult to handle the fact that the same browser fingerprint should be used. So it is going to be more difficult. And the solution I would like to suggest you to try, and I will also show in the demo, is make the manual registration and then use the same session. So if you do the registration and the login with the browser profile in the Anthropic browser, then you can use the same profile for your scraping, and you will be logged in instantly and you can do the scraping without any issues. I kind of like have a case study on this. I made some experiments, and to prevent actual manual registrations, I went for Upwork, which is a freelance platform, and I could purchase 50 Facebook accounts for $15 US. And spending $15 US on my web scraping project was not a big cost. And I already had 50 Kameleo profiles, which were already logged into a Facebook account, where I could start scraping Facebook marketplaces for different prices. I think this is time for demo because we talked a lot about this technology, methodology. Let's see in action because it might make more sense. I'm going to share my screen with you in a second. Okay, you should see my screen right now. There is PyCharm, right? Okay. So first thing I would like to show is Kameleo, how to use this, and then I will show you iProxy as well. So basically, you need to install Kameleo CLI command line interface tool to your PC and run it, and it will expose REST API, which will be which can be you can communicate with the REST API through different requests. But for demo purposes, I will use Kameleo's graphical user interface, which will help you to understand things much better. So this is the basics of Kameleo, and I will show you how it works. First, I make a new browser profile, but all this can be done by code, and I will show you that one as well, where you get a browser fingerprint that will be very good against anti-bot systems, and you can set up a couple of things. For example, here I will set up a proxy. I will use the iProxy IP, which Evgeny provided to me. Okay, it seems like the proxy is okay. Also on IPv6, HTTPS connection, so everything works smoothly. And I can launch the browser. You can see that Chroma, our custom built browser, is launching now here. And I can check my IP address. I can see this is it, and it is already through the Android phone that Evgeny just provided me. If I refresh the page, I still have the same IP address, so it works during the whole session. Right now, there is no session rotation set up, so as long as I'm connecting through this proxy, I will always have the same IP address, unless I'm not calling a change IP URL, which I'm calling right now. Okay, it returned that it worked well. And if I just reload this page, my IP should change. Yes, you can see the IP has changed. This is, I think, a pretty good demo on seeing how iProxy works. And what I can see is, what you can see, I have different Kameleo browser profiles here. For example, this one, also set up with an iProxy. And I'm going to launch this one. This one is one I just purchased through Upwork. And as you can see, I'm already logged into a Facebook profile, and I can start scraping through some prices of some used vehicles, for example. Okay, let's make it more interesting for you, as now you probably understand the profile system of Kameleo. Let's jump and run some code. The whole code is available on our GitHub page, which will be linked in the webinar and sent out in email, so you can check it. What you have here is first we initialize the Kameleo local API client, which is a wrapper around the REST interface, so you don't need to make requests individually, but you can make requests something like start profile, create profile, everything that you have seen here on the user interface. I will show some of these codes later on. I think let's just run the code in debug mode, so I can make a good explanation here. First thing what we are doing is we are initializing kind of like it's I call it profile store, but actually profiles are stored in Kameleo. But this is just an SQLite database where I just track which profile was used with which IP. This is necessary to make this solution with iProxy that we are running the same IP address on the same profile. Okay, before we run our code, we just call this endpoint, which I just showed before in the demo, which is renewing the IP address. So we are just getting a new IP from the pool. Just a quick question here from you, Evgeny. As I know you are right now in Kazakhstan, and let's say you have one Android phone with one SIM card with you. How big is the pool for you with that provider?
It depends on the country and on the specific mobile carrier. For example, in the same country, we'll have a few mobile carriers, but the pool is very different. And in different cities in one country, it's different. At the end of the webinar, I will show you some statistics, but also we have investigation about countries and mobile carriers that have what pool they have worldwide.
Yes. During my experimenting, I used a SIM card in Hungary, and I could easily count 500 IPs. And having 500 Kameleo profiles made it possible to scrape through during the day with different profiles. So it was kind of like an ideal setup. So let's quickly move on. We then decide, so I'm not going to show you every implementation as the code will be available on GitHub, but you can request the IP through the proxy. So for example, in this case, we know that we just received this IP address, and then we are looking up for the profile name in the SQLite database. So we already have this email address, and we are searching for this profile. Yes, we got it. And just quickly check on Kameleo's interface. Yes, we have this account ready to tackle Facebook scraping because we are going to launch the profile right now. One moment. And it's already launched with a beautiful chroma. And the next thing, we are going to connect to the browser with Playwright, but actually you can do this with Puppeteer, Selenium, or these automation frameworks, and then you can start your scraping. Let's see how it runs. So it opens up Facebook automatically. Yes, we are logged in. And it's doing some automatic searching for some real estate prices. And once it decides that it retrieved enough information, it just closes the browser. And one more important thing happened here. So all these profiles are in the workspace of Kameleo, but they can be saved to the cloud, or they can be exported profile files. As you can see now, here is the Kameleo profile file saved. And so if I want to run my scraper on another machine later, I can just import these profile files and continue the work that I just left off, and I can always stay logged into any account. Here is something I didn't cover in this explanation, that what happens if we retrieve an IP from iProxy or from the pool that was not used before with any account. Then we can just create a new profile. Here is an example code that you can use on your project, on like how to set up the proxy, how to set up everything to be aligned. So for example, geolocation spoofing should be automatically aligned with the IP address, and then just launch the profile, and then you can do the login, and then you can reuse the same profile for your scraping tasks. I think I have covered everything the demo I just wanted to. So let's continue a little bit with the presentation. And so we can move towards the Q&A section. And I think this is a time to ask your questions. And while we are waiting for questions, Evgeny, I think you can showcase the metrics you wanted to share with us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would like to add, for example, you said that if one mobile proxy has 500 unique IP addresses, like pool, so you can run 500 profiles. So I would like to emphasize that you can use just one mobile proxy, just one Android phone, one SIM card, and run 500 profiles. That's very cost-effective solution for you. And regarding metrics, our data analyst gathered some information, and what we have here. For example, the highest traffic through a single proxy in just one day was 283 gigabytes. That's too much. But iProxy works with such volumes as well too.
Imagine how much you would have to pay if it was built based on gigabyte bandwidth, right?
Fortunately, we don't do extra payment for this because we have a lot of servers. Each has its limits, but some people exceed it, but some users don't exceed it. That's why we can provide such volumes for our users without extra pay. That's really good. Regarding successful requests, we have almost 15 million requests per day. Yeah, it's too much for just single proxy in one day. Uh, yeah, we have the first question. So let me finish this part. It will be short. As we can see here, number of proxies with high frequency regular work in June. It's fresh information. And we have like 332 proxies requests were done every 60 seconds. And for example, 6 proxies had requests every 5 seconds. Too much. And about the pool, for example, the highest number of rotations for a single proxy in one day was 4,000 unique IP addresses for one device. I don't know the country, the city, and the mobile carrier, but if needed, after the webinar, I can ask my data analyst to find this information. So
Okay.
that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It was really nice insights. In the meantime, we received several questions. I can see both targeting Kameleo solution and both iProxy. I will try to go one by one. Okay. So the first question is, do you have to purchase multiple licenses of Kameleo in order to run a cluster of worker downloaders? I run a cluster of 100 machines, which I would like to deploy this onto, but I'm not sure if I should buy 100 licenses or how this works. Yes, so I think this is related to Kameleo, so I'm going to answer. Originally, Kameleo was designed to have a license-based pricing. So if you would like to install Kameleo on 100 servers, then you need 100 licenses. But the price then would not be ideally scaling for you, because this was originally designed for very strong servers where, for example, 100 profiles could be run at the same time on one server. But we also know that a lot of customers are asking that they are running, for example, virtual machines, and they are just running 5 or 6 profiles at the same time on one virtual server. The reason why they are doing this is because it's easier to scale them and easier to maintain. It's also safer. And we already have a custom pricing for them, but this is not publicly available. So if you ask this question, I would like to encourage you to write to our beautiful support team on help.kameleo.io and request for this pricing, which is and so we can provide a price for your needs. And for this, we will have a short call to fully explore what solution you need, but definitely you won't have to pay for 100 profiles. And just one comment that might be not clean at this point, that yes, on one server, you can run multiple Kameleo profiles at the same time. I hope I was able to answer the question. Let's move to the second one, which is, hello, I would like to know when iProxy will have Canada locations, please. Evgeny, I think you can answer this question.
If the question is regarding the server of iProxy, we can open Canada on user request. We can provide VIP server in Canada, for example, no problem. Just write to our support and it will be ready in just 30 minutes. But for example, if you want to buy ready-made Canadian mobile proxies, there are two options. The first is if you are in Canada, then you must take your Android and install iProxy. If you are not in Canada, you have to find your friend or partner or someone who can install the device and the app for you and share proxies for you. And if the question is about our trustworthy sellers, we have worldwide. Currently, I don't remember if we have someone in Canada, but I need to check it. For example, if you want to buy ready-made Canadian proxies, also ask our support and check the list of our sellers.
Okay. Um, We got more and more questions. So one is kind of like a technical question. Is it possible to receive a copy of the webinar recording? Yes, we are recording this and we are going to publish it, and we will send it to you to your email address that you used during registration with some other follow-up information such as discounts. We will cover after the Q&A section, but we still have other questions such as, do you have any real-world examples of using Kameleo and iProxy to make money? Yes, I think everybody is here because they have an example, a real-world example, and they just have technical limitations. But just quickly come up with one example is, for example, writing reviews for your Google listed service, or for example, creating Google searches for, so let's say somebody has a local shop, for example, fisherman's shop in your region, and they want to have better SEO. And what you can do is you can write a lot of review, you can automate visits on their website with Kameleo and iProxy, and this will increase the traffic on their website, and you can sell this service to these shops. But there are loads of other contexts I don't want or examples. I don't want to go into this, but instead I would like to go more with technical related questions. So just a quick one, how can we add our mobile device in your proxy pool? I think, Evgeny, this question is to you.
As I mentioned, we don't provide proxy pool, which is mobile app that helps you to make proxies. But if the question is how to install the iProxy app, that's very easy. You just install the iProxy, you sign up at website, create your first connection, then you go to your app and log in and click like next, 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 and your proxies are ready. And then you go to your dashboard, take your proxy credentials. It's IP, port, login, password, and use it. So that's very easy.
Okay. There is another question, also proxy related, but I think I will be able to answer it. What type of proxy will be best for multiple account creation, rotate proxy or static proxy, and can you explain why? Yes. So in my opinion, the best is to have so one account, also like one online account should be covered in one Kameleo profile or like one session, and the same IP should be used all the time. So the best is to have a static IP address. There are providers who are actually providing these static IPs, but then the cost will be more. There will be something like 2 to 5 US dollars per IP address. And if you need 100 profiles or accounts, then it will be like 200 to 500 US dollars. And I think that might be out of budget. So an alternative would be to use the rotating proxies. But I think that's not the best solution, because what you can do is usually you can set up a session ID or sticky session, how they call. So despite they are rotating, you can ensure that, for example, for 30 minutes, you will have the same IP address. So when you are automating actions with one login account, you can have the same session during the same IP address during the whole session. And I think this is good if you are using proxies from the same region, same country and same region. But the very best solution is to have static proxies, so always have the same IP from the same profile. And like I showed previously with iProxy, what you can do is you can rotate the pool, so like requesting a new IP from the pool until you receive the IP you just wanted to have. It is kind of like having a static IP, but with a more cost-effective solution. Of course, if you don't want to spend this time making this work, you can simply just purchase ISP proxies or static residential proxies. But what I see is everybody is trying to save costs as much as possible because proxies are pretty expensive. And I think with iProxy, this is kind of like a good solution. I can move on. I think we still have about 4 minutes to answer questions. Here is one for you, Evgeny. So I signed up for iProxy account as I run a cluster of 12 4G USB devices, and I'm interested in replacing these with smartphone devices. Are there any recommended smartphone devices which are simple to root?
Yeah, and first of all, I'd like to say that root is not required for using iProxy. You don't need root. We have really easy solution for this is install iProxy like digital assistant or provide owner mode. I will not explain what is it here to save the time, but we have all the guides on our website. But root is not required. And regarding the certain recommended smartphone devices, yes, we have a list of these devices for different regions of the world. Go out to our website or just contact our support, and we will help you to determine the best device for you.
Okay. We received more questions about like what project to do to earn money. We are definitely going to send you an email some hints, but I don't want to take more time as the clock is ticking, and we still want to share some discounts with you. So here is some time for one last question, which is who will do the manual registration? Uh, who will do the manual registration? You mentioned Upwork, but what to search for? On Upwork, yes, on Upwork, you can search for data entry, and I found a guy who was able to register 50 Facebook profiles for $15, and I received them in Kameleo profile formats, which was very great because I could immediately start off using them. You can also do search for virtual agents. So data entry and virtual agents is probably the keyword you should search on iProxy for. I think we are run out of time on questions. We still have some, but I hope we covered the main topics. And I think it is time for kind of like some bonus time for some discounts. Both iProxy.online and Kameleo is going to provide you something. I would like you, Evgen, to start.
Yeah, we will provide free access for 1 month. Just sign up right away, right now, and then contact our support on Telegram. Provide your email, and we will top up you just balance, and you can use it anytime after the event when you are ready to install your device. And the bonus is valid only till 4th of July, so it will be valid only today and tomorrow.
Okay, thank you for the generous offer. I think it is a great opportunity to start off experiencing iProxy and see if you can earn money by utilizing these proxies. I would like to also showcase our offer from Kameleo's side. So what we want is basically want you to succeed with your project, to successfully bypass anti-bot systems and to explore the power of an anti-detect browser such as Kameleo. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we are already very active on Discord groups, and helping out several users. But we are offering an exclusive free consultation with me. So at the end of this webinar, you will be survey will be prompted for you, where you can indicate your interest. So if you are interested having this consultation with me, you can indicate there, or if you miss this chance, you can simply visit our help center and write a support ticket and indicate that you participated on this webinar and you would like to have the consultation. And I will help you to set up your code, what we just showcased in the webinar. We are going to also provide you Kameleo, so prepared Kameleo profiles that can be used for your project to scrape behind login walls. So you can skip the part to hire someone from Upwork and do the manual registration, but we will provide it to you. And if you are planning to scale up your project to earn more money, then we can discuss the prices. For example, if you are not going for the license-based pricing, but you are going for more servers, that was mentioned during the Q&A section. I really hope that this offer will help you to succeed with your project. Like, did you learn anything new today, Evgeny?
I'm sorry, I had a poor connection. What?
So I think we covered everything, and I think it was a wonderful webinar, a very good contribution through the Q&A section. Did you also learn something interesting today?
Yes, sure. Today I've seen how web scraping works from inside.
Yes, great. It's always worth spending on time on it, because I'm sure this is going to be in the future as data gatheration and gathering information is going to be value and will earn you a lot of money. So I would like to wish everybody successful scraping and to encourage you to contact us through all the form that we have. Write to iProxy on Telegram, write us on support, and hope we can stay in connect. So have a nice day for everybody. Thank you, Evgeny, for attending.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.